Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we're giving you a top 10 of our bold predictions for the upcoming season. Here we go. 10. Jose Mourinho to get sacked. When you hire Jose Mourinho, you make a trade-off. Apart from his spell at Real Madrid and a few months at Chelsea in 2014, the Portuguese generally plays defensive football, but in return you get trophies, the coach racking up 25 in his career so far. However, when results fail, you're left with nothing, and results look set for a downturn. Last year, according to expected goals, Mourinho's side had the 6th best attack and the 5th best defence in the Premier League, scoring 9 more goals than they were projected to and conceding 16 fewer than expected, thanks to the heroics of David De Gea. A reversion to the mean would see their goal difference drop from 40 to 15, and without significant signings, the decline could be even worse. Mourinho's relationship with the United hierarchy is apparently in tatters after the club refused to overpay for Ivan Perisic in January, and the coach himself has publicly lamented United's failure to bring in the reinforcements he wants, saying, "I would like 2 more players. I think it's possible I'm going to have 1. I gave my club a list of 5 names a few months ago. I wait to see if it's possible to have one of these players." Once a man who would create public controversy to distract from poor results, Mourinho now throws players under the bus, attacking Antonio Valencia, Paul Pogba and Luke Shaw, among others in the past year. Expect him to run out of goodwill after Christmas, especially with Zinedine Zidane unemployed. 9. Roma will drop out of Serie A's top 4. Third place in Serie A last season makes it 5 consecutive years of Champions League football for Roma, but were gambling on the wheels coming off the wagon in 2018-19. The Giallorossi's success in their first year under Eusebio Di Francesco was powered by an overperforming defence, conceding 28 goals against an expected total of 38. Still good, but only the 6th best in the league. That overperformance was largely the work of Alisson, who made 3.4 saves for every goal he conceded, almost exactly the same as David De Gea. That meant a team needed more than 4 shots on target to put 1 past the Brazilian, a number that will surely drop down with Robin Olsen between the sticks. In attack, the addition of Justin Kluivert was widely praised, but sporting director Monchi failed to catch a Malcolm, and Edin Dzeko, who has scored a third of Roma's league goals since he joined in 2015, is soon to be 33. Meanwhile, Inter Milan have strengthened considerably, taking Nainggolan from the capital club and leaving Roma with a fight on their hands to retain their place at Europe's top table. 8. Arsenal will win the Europa League. Whatever you think of Arsenal, it seems certain that there's more to come from their squad. Last year, under the wayward rule of Arsene Wenger, the club lost 13 matches and conceded 51 goals. But their attack still managed to score 74, nearly 2 a game, and joined 3rd in the league with Spurs. That's despite Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang only arriving in January. And after 10 goals and 4 assists in 13 games, the Gabonese look set for a monster campaign, with able support from Lacazette and Ramsey, plus the creative talents of Mkhitaryan and Ozil. With such an array of forward talent, Unai Emery only needs to solidify the defence to have a shot at a trophy he won 3 times in a row with Sevilla. And in his last 3 Europa League campaigns, the Spaniards team have only allowed 36 goals in 39 matches. Promising stuff, especially following the addition of pocket pitbull Lucas Torreira in defensive midfield. After reaching the Europa semis in 17-18, just an extra 5% from a few stars could push Arsenal over the top. Bet on Emery finding it in 2019. 7. Alvaro Morata will score more than 20 league goals. Widely panned after a first season at Stamford Bridge which brought just 11 league goals, Alvaro Morata will be hungry for redemption in 17-18. The Spaniard was left out of his country's World Cup squad, leaving him well rested, and will hope to rid himself of the injuries which saw him play just 60% of available minutes last season. But a disrupted campaign didn't prevent Morata from playing well. The 25-year-old was 8th in the Prem for expected goals with a predicted tally of 14. If he'd hit that target instead of marginally underperforming, Morata would have just been 1 goal behind Firmino and 2 behind Lukaku, and the narrative might have been more than favourable. The arrival of Maurizio Sarri should help him too. In the coach's 3 seasons at Napoli, his side took over 17 shots per game, with an average of 27 league strikes for their centre-forward. Olivier Giroud is probably not mobile enough for the Italians' plans, while Michy Batshuayi lacks the former Madrid man's all-round game and could even be used out wide. If he leads the line for the Blues and stays off the treatment table, Morata should finally prove the doubters wrong. 6. Memphis Depay will move to a top team. Again. Nothing destroys a player's reputation like an underwhelming spell in the Premier League, and Memphis Depay was written off by half the footballing world after his 18-month stay at Man United ended with a total of 7 goals for the club and a move to Lyon. But in France, Depay has rediscovered the form which helped him win a league title with PSV, and made United spend the money in the first place. In 17-18, he led Lyon in goals, assists, shots and chances created, contributing to an incredible 32 strikes in Ligue 1, or a goal every 80 minutes. That's 6 goals more than Nabil Fekir in roughly the same number of minutes on the field. And Depay is 7 months younger than his teammate, with a much better injury record. but it was Fekir who attracted a Liverpool bid in excess of £60 million. However, Europe's elite will likely be scouting Lyon heavily this season, with Aouar, Ndombele and Traoré all impressing, and they will not be able to ignore a man with 24 goals and 20 assists in 53 games for Les Gones much longer. We hope that before 2020 Depay will be playing for a super club again. 5. Burnley will get relegated. Sean Dyche's reign at Burnley has been legitimately impressive. The Ginger Mourinho has twice got the club promoted to the Prem, and whilst he's also overseen a relegation, Burnley are always tough to beat and have taken some impressive scalps for a club with a yearly wage bill of £27 million, lower than Huddersfield's and under half of Southampton's. But while Dyche can put together a passable defence, the 17-18 season saw the Clarets overperform their underlying numbers. According to expected goals, they were predicted to score just 33 goals, compared to their actual total of 36, concede 52 when they only allowed 39 and take back 41 points, when they ended the season on 54. And while you could argue that the numbers don't tell the whole story, in the previous campaign Burnley aligned closely with their expected goals, suggesting that last year was an anomaly rather than the product of coaching genius. Add to this the pressure of Europa League football, a lack of significant transfers, and the oldest squad in the Premier League at an average age of nearly 29, and you have a recipe for implosion. 4. Real Madrid will take more league points than they did last season. So, barring some magic late in the transfer window, we're not backing Real Madrid to pick up major silverware over the next 12 months. But Los Blancos may still see an improvement in the points column come next June. In 17-18, Zidane's outfit could only rack up 76 points, their lowest tally since 2006-07. The Merengues also scored fewer goals and conceded more than they had in a single campaign since 2008-09. A year so frustrating that they broke the world transfer record twice the following summer, on Kaká and Ronaldo. 9 years on and CR7 is gone, but the squad remains extremely talented, with Gareth Bale ready to take a more central role supported by Isco and Marco Asensio. Player for player, the backline is arguably the world's best, and a little reorganisation should see Real at least match Barcelona's defensive performance, something they've failed to do every year since 2008. Lopetegui has struggled at club level in the past, but with top-class players at his disposal, he crafted an organised and high-pressing Spain side, until his unceremonious removal on the eve of the World Cup. If he does the same at the Bernabeu, Real will begin their new era on a positive note. 3. Maurizio Pochettino will leave at the end of the season. With third, second and third place finishes in his last 3 seasons at Tottenham, Maurizio Pochettino has single-handedly turned Spurs into Champions League regulars and arguably the most stable club in the Premier League. On his watch, Dele Alli and Harry Kane have become superstars while Christian Eriksen's talent is better known than ever before. But the Lily Whites still remain underdogs in domestic and European football, with Liverpool and Man City considered likelier to pick up silverware. In fact, despite their forward strides, Spurs are yet to challenge for a meaningful trophy, and they continue to underpay their stars, with a wage bill of £127 million, £72 million lower than Arsenal's. That's a recipe for an exodus, and though Pochettino signed a new contract until 2023 after the 17-18 campaign, the loss of key squad members could prompt a rethink. Eriksen has only missed 6 games in 4 seasons, but has been linked with Barcelona, while Kane seems sure to tempt Real Madrid one day. With a 23-point deficit to make up on the citizens from 17-18, it could be another year of stasis on the white side of North London. And a disappointing season for Bayern's Kovac, PSG's Tuchel, or Real's Lopetegui could see the Argentinian pack his bags. 2. Juventus to win the Champions League. Cristiano Ronaldo's move from Real Madrid to Juventus was the headline story of the summer, and the Portuguese should renew the Bianconeri's ailing attack. According to expected goals, the old lady had the 3rd best attack in Italy in 15-16, the 4th best in 16-17 and the 6th best last year, something the 5-time Champions League winner is sure to fix. But the old lady will also benefit from Maurizio Sarri's departure from Napoli. The Partenepe pushed Juve all the way onto the new Chelsea boss, racking up 91 points last season. And while they, Roma and Inter are sure to remain solid, the Scudetto will probably come easier in 2019. That would allow Max Allegri to focus on the Champions League, and it could make all the difference. Juve have twice reached the final under the Italian and in 17-18 almost knocked out Real Madrid in the quarters, before their new number 7 netted a winning penalty. Managerial changes around Europe could also aid the Turin outfit's bid for a first continental crown since 1996. And while rising powers like PSG and Liverpool may offer a threat, Juventus are now equipped to beat anyone. But if they do win, spare a thought for poor Gigi Buffon. 1. Atlético Madrid to win La Liga. Our punchiest shout is in at number 1, with FD officially backing Atlético Madrid to win their second league title under Diego Simeone. The Rojiblancos lifted the trophy in 13-14, conceding just 26 goals all season, but have been unable to break through for a second time, despite actually improving their defence and allowing under 25 goals on average for the last 3 campaigns. That's because the 13-14 season remains Atleti's highest scoring one under Simeone, with Los Colchoneros netting 77 in 38, and the decline of the attack has been worrying. Despite top-shelf talent like Griezmann and Diego Costa, Atleti's attack ranked 10th in Spain last season according to expected goals. But the club has taken steps to address their weak areas. Thomas Lemar has come in to run the side's counters, allowing Griezmann to stay further upfield. Gelson Martins adds some pace and trickery, and Rodri's arrival in defensive midfield will give Koke and Sal freedom to get forward. Meanwhile, Barcelona's failure to secure invincible status has seen fans turn on Ernesto Valverde, and Real Madrid are in the process of dismantling a side which delivered 3 consecutive Champions Leagues to the Bernabeu. With rivals in disarray and a year under their belts at the Wanda Metropolitano, Atlético are primed for glory. Congratulations, you've reached the end of the video. Your award, the face of the poshest man in Football Daily. For more great content, why don't you click in this box here, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.